If you're masking your healing with productivity, you'll never be whole. And that's what a lot of being that girl could lead to or leads to. You're in the swing of things where you're being that girl, but you're just bearing your trauma, you're bearing your grief, you're bearing your heartache, you're bearing your pain, and you're being productive, and it's costing you. Your productivity is costing you because you are not really accepting. You're not honest with yourself. You're eventually it's going to explode. You're either going to explode or implode, and all of that you've built upon this veil of productivity is going to be for nothing. Hey everyone, I'm Deanna and this is Jackie. Welcome to Glowing Peace. So today we're going to be talking or discussing why being that girl is not sustainable. So what does it mean to be that girl? Being that girl can be defined as a woman who is productive and typically fit. She has an idealistic and aesthetically pleasing daily routine and appears to be living a successful and full life. It is meant to be an empowering term for young women to excel and accomplish their dreams and goals. That girl videos have been trending on TikTok and YouTube recently, and the most popular videos in this trendy genre include morning routines, gym routines, and self-care routines. So how can you be that girl? Okay, I'm gonna go through some steps. This is how you can be that girl. Pay attention, please. You gotta get up. This is the first thing you gotta do. You gotta get up at 6 a.m. and make an iced coffee or protein shake. It got to be one of those two. Okay, iced coffee or protein shake. Following? Okay. Then you go to the gym and do a slim, thick workout. Then eat a massive avocado toast with lots of protein, chicken, beef, shrimp, and it all has to be like grass-fed, organic, pasture-raised. All it has to be. Okay. All right. Then after you did that, you go back home and you do a lot of work for your business, your YouTube channel, your IG sponsorship, okay? Or you have to be a super studious student who gets straight A's and is involved with literally every campus activity. Keep rolling with me. Then, because you had a long day, you treat yourself to a fancy dinner at an expensive restaurant with your new Chanel bag you bought to match your new Tesla, okay? You with me? After you come back to your home or to your luxury apartment, typically it is your luxury apartment because you're that girl, that you live in because you work in tech or social media, okay? Then you make a nice luxurious bath for yourself with a cool bathtub rack thingy that is like you put on the tub and it like stretches across your tub, and you put your iPad in it, and then your glass of wine, and then like snacks and your book your book. Oh yes, and you drink a glass of wine whilst reading a self-care book. It has to be some kind of self-care book. Okay. Then you do your 15-step nighttime skincare routine, nothing less than 15 steps. Then make a nighttime snack consisting of organic almonds and premier dark chocolate with a cup of chamomile tea. Then you go to bed in your 500 thread count Egyptian cotton sheets and $350 luxury duvet cover. And those are about 8 steps. The step 9 is you repeat this every day except the weekends when you go out to brunch. So that is how you can be that girl. I could end this video here, but there's more. Why being that girl is not sustainable? Because life is not ideal. It is easier to be productive and stick to routines when life is going relatively well. But what happens when life starts lifing? Well, typically you are unable to maintain those routines because your mental, emotional, spiritual, or even financial stability starts to change. What I described in How to Be That Girl is under the most ideal circumstances. Those steps and those opportunities are under the most ideal circumstances. We're gonna get into it. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But being that girl is also not sustainable because there's no margin or room for imperfection, because it is based upon an idealistic standard. Let's continue. Being that girl is ableist. Provide a definition. Ableism is discrimination in favor of able-bodied people. Okay, you see it everywhere in the workplace, education, college. You see it everywhere, and it is definitely exemplified in being that girl. Disabilities are not always visible. Mental health disorders are not always visible. So like depression, anxiety, etc., especially people with high functioning cases like myself. Being that girl is on the basis that establishing an idealistic routine is achievable for everyone, and it is not. It can be very hard to be productive with any kind of illness, seen or unseen, and can make individuals feel insufficient or less than for not living up to this idealistic standard. It can also exacerbate the illness itself. If a person feels they cannot live up to this standard, it can further negatively impact their mental and or physical health. Using myself as an example, on top of having cancer, I have depression and anxiety. Well, I try not to claim it because words are powerful, but that's what affects me at times. And I put myself in this little box, this little corner with trying to be that girl, because anybody can be that girl when life is going well. The grades are in order, your health is good, you have all the right things in place. It's easy to be that girl. But what happens when you have a massive wave of depression, or you're so anxious you can't move or think? And now you can't be that girl. You can't be this idealized persona that you've created. You can't be that because you have mental health, or physical health, you have real life issues going on. And being that girl does not allow for inclusivity of mental health or any kind of issue. It does not allow for that, because it shows that if you have to do this despite how you feel. But sometimes it's out of your control. Yes, there is discipline, what we'll talk about later. But if I am so sad that I can't move, not only am I depressed because something triggered my depression or something like that, or usually I'm thinking about how overwhelmed I am with what was school. Now it's just like coping with illness, things like that. And not only am I sad because of that, then I'm sad because I'm unable to do this routine. I can't, get up and drink my iced coffee and go to the gym because I'm so sad. All I ate was a slice of pizza, or I ate too much food, or I did not eat at all. And I'm so hard on myself, and because of being that girl, I'm trying to hold myself to a very unreal standard. I'm becoming so hard on myself. And I don't like that. I don't like that for me. I don't like it for y'all. So that is why it's ableist, because it does not, as I said, it does not allow for inclusivity of different things, of different mental health, physical health challenges. On top of that, I have real nerve pain. So I'm unable sometimes, I've been getting better, but I'm unable to, get up and exercise the way I'd like to because of pain. And I'd be so hard on myself and so sad, you're not really good at this, or you're not making strides, or you really can't be this girl. I have to do it in my own way, and we will get to that later. But the next point is, being that girl is classist. Now, let me just say that it takes money. It takes money to be that girl. Not everybody has the means to be that girl and maintain being that girl, okay? So I said maintain because you could be that girl for a day, but the idea is to keep this up, and to maintain it, it takes a lot. And so gym memberships, certain high quality foods like organic and non-GMO, spa services, facials, lashes, getting your hair done are not an option for a lot of women who have to focus all their financial resources to maintain their house or apartment, bills, children, tuition, and other expenses. How are you supposed to be that girl and go to brunch and get your lashes done, get your nails done, gym membership, all these things, and you got bills, you got kids, you're in college, especially if you're in college, man, you're trying to balance, paying your own way and trying to be that girl. So because what money do you have for, let me just say, probably gym membership. They're usually at campus gym, so I won't say that. But high quality foods, not all dining halls are created equal. I was blessed to go to, I went to UConn. And the dining halls, you have to pick your battles with the dining halls, but some of them have really good food. You just have to catch them on the right day. But not everyone has that option, because at UConn, you didn't have to live in a dorm to go to that dining hall. You could go to any, but there are a lot of schools where that one dining hall is the only dining hall you have access to. And on top of that, grocery stores, sometimes campus grocery stores mark things up because they know college kids are going there. You don't want to eat ramen, and it's high in sodium. It's not the best for you, but it's cheap and it's sustenance. You need food. Okay, so how are you supposed to be that girl and you're trying to just survive and make it through the semester? Or if you are a mother, or you have kids, you have bills, you have to make sure your kids are okay. You have to put all your resources in that. What time do you have to be that girl? You don't have the funds to be that girl. Okay? And that's okay. Not everybody, that's okay. So that's not everyone has the means. So I'm talking finances, right? But then not everybody has the available resources and information to be that girl. Some people live in food deserts, okay? And they don't have access to grocery stores like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. Hence, they may be unable to purchase higher quality foods. I've yet to seen like a being that girl and it's like a hood grocery store, or like a Price Right or Food Bazaar. I live in Connecticut, so that's technically the hood grocery stores in my area, a C-town, you know what I'm saying? But it's normally Trader Joe's, it's gonna be a Whole Foods, and they do have higher quality foods. Like ideally you should be eating organic foods and fruits if you can. There are a list of organic foods and fruits and vegetables that you can eat, and then there are some they don't have to be organic, you can eat, and that's ideal. But not everyone has it, because not only do they not have the money, but there are women who don't live in those areas and may not have a car. They may not have the means to get to those places. You understand? Some people don't have guidance or live in an environment that supports healthy habits, which makes it difficult to start or maintain different ideal routines. Everybody's situation is different, and if you don't live in an environment that is loving and supportive of your journey, or let's say you're a teenager and you want to buy organic, or you want to buy not even organic, you just want to buy fruits, vegetables, quinoa, you want to start changing, and your living environment does not support that and does not support that growth. Well, how can you then grow? Like, how can you then be that girl? Because if you're having your family clown you, or they're not supportive of your decision, you really can't bloom and grow in that environment. You can't. It's very stifling because you don't have the support. Okay, being that girl is classist. I think I made enough points for that. Let's move on. Being that girl leads to low self-esteem. All right, as I said before, almost anybody can be that girl for a day or even a week. Shoot, I know I can. Okay, anybody could be that girl for a day or a week. We could play pretend. But when you start to become overwhelmed by the problems and occurrences of life, it makes it difficult to be that girl. When you then deviate from the routines you have in place, you may begin to feel insecure or less than. This is because you have been conditioned to love yourself conditionally. Let me say it again. I need y'all to hear me. You have been conditioned to love yourself conditionally. It is easy or easier to love and think highly of yourself when you are sticking to your plans and excelling in your daily life. But it is harder to love yourself when you are this idealized person. Oh, no, it is harder to love yourself when you are not this idealized person you've constructed in your mind. There we go. Again, using myself as an example. Now I'm getting into a realistic flow of things, which I'll explain. But when I was sticking to this very rigid, that girl routine type of lifestyle, and I deviated it because of mental health, because of school, because of illness, because of whatever, I was so hard on myself. I didn't like who I was, because then what happens, you're not eating right, you start getting bloated, I was starting getting bloated, or I didn't eat a lot, and then I would start getting emaciated, and I just was not liking, or I didn't love myself, I didn't value myself. I only loved myself when I looked a certain way. I only valued myself when I was doing certain things. I only valued myself when I was this kind of productive, I put a lot of, especially with school, I was very hard on myself when I was in college, when I was not being productive, and I had literally everything working against me, and I did not love or value myself in that capacity and give myself grace, because I was trying to stick to what the world and what was trendy and what I should have been, rather than giving myself grace and loving myself through each stage of my life. Being that girl causes you to not accept yourself. Ooh. You do not always have to like where you are, but self-love starts by accepting yourself for who you are, even if you are not where you are or who you'd like to be. Being that girl, that persona that you created that's super productive and that's always doing this and always doing that and always drinking her kale smoothies and her green juice, which is not sustainable long term, and not allowing I don't want to call it cheat days, because it implies like food is something bad, or brownies are bad that you should not eat. Like we're not going to call them cheat days. You giving yourself allowances to deviate from a plan, we'll call it that. We're not going to call it a cheat. But when you don't accept yourself for who you are, you will never excel in this that girl journey. You know what? Because being that girl is basically becoming a better version of yourself. And if you cannot accept yourself for where you are, and you cannot love yourself at all stages, you will never be where you want to be, because you will never be whole, because you're loving parts of yourself. And to be whole, you have to accept all of yourself. You may not like it, but you have to accept it. And when you're trying to be something that you're really not this person, you're sticking to a plan that may work for other people, but it doesn't work for you. So rather than creating a plan that works for you, you pigeonhole yourself in this, I gotta be that kale smoothie drinking, a slim thick gal who does all these things, and that's not you. You are still that girl if you decided to stay in bed and order pizza and watch Disney Plus. In my case is order Korean fried chicken and watch Netflix, specifically Jane the Virgin, for the maybe 12th time. I don't know. Life is hard, and your sanity and peace must come before any aesthetics. Being that girl delays the healing process. To truly be that girl, you must be willing to endure. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't mean that girl. I mean that girl. To truly be that girl, you must be willing to endure growth and healing. The glamorized that girl persona delays the healing process because it replaces true healing with aesthetics and glamorized lifestyles. True healing is messy and it hurts. That is not seen nor reflected in that girl videos, especially on those related to self-care and healing. I've yet to see a video that reflects the grittiness, the agony, the anguish, and the pain related to true healing. Because it's not always proper stance of meditation and, you know, aesthetics. I'll say aesthetics. It's very painful and it hurts. I mean, it hurts to truly have to come to terms with the fact that you are not where you'd like to be, or you're not who you'd like to be, and that you are doing things that are counterproductive to your growth and healing, or there are things in your life that you need to cut out. They paint it. They put their rose-colored glasses on for that. But in reality, it is painful. And this leads to a different point where social media is lacking authenticity, which is not a new point, but it just I had to include it. I had to say it here because people want authenticity. People want realness. People don't always want to see. I mean, it's great to see, you know, aesthetics. I like watching them. They're aesthetically pleasing. They're cute to look at. But there comes a time where you're like, I wish I found or saw someone who was like me. I wish I saw someone who was going through what I was going through in all different phases and stages of their life, not just when everything's going great, but people want to have people people want representation. They want to feel like, oh, I can relate to this person because I too am one day am fine and the next day have hit rock bottom repeatedly. And this is why on my channel I do my best to not just wash over things, but to truly be honest with you, because I'm documenting my life at the end of the day, and I want to help someone at what? Mainly that I want to help you, and in helping you, I'm also strengthening my character because I get to be a blessing and I don't have to try and hide. It's a relief for me because I don't have to try and hide and conceal certain parts of my life. I'm not saying every part of my life is meant for YouTube or social media or whatever. I am saying I want to be as honest with you as possible in my that girl, you know, glow up or whatever. I want to be as honest and real with you because that is where the healing is. It's not in deception and aesthetics. It's in realness. But to heal, you have to allow yourself to hurt and grieve. You have to do it. It's literally the last stage of grief is acceptance. And it's hard. It's hard to come to terms with this is the way it is and I cannot change it. You have to grieve. You have to mourn. You have to mourn for the parts of life that you wish you could have, or the parts of life that you've missed because you were so busy putting on a mask. And if you're masking your healing with productivity, you'll never be whole. And that's what a lot of being that girl could lead to or leads to. You're in the swing of things where you're being that girl, but you're just bearing your trauma, you're bearing your grief, you're bearing your heartache, you're bearing your pain, and you're being productive, and it's costing you. Your productivity is costing you because you are not really accepting. You're not honest with yourself. Eventually it's going to explode. You're either going to explode or implode, and all of that you've built upon this veil of productivity is going to be for nothing. So if you're masking your healing with productivity, you'll never be whole. Because this idealistic persona you've created or mirrored yourself after becomes a true distraction from all the pain you've been trying to suppress. To be that girl, you have to accept and appreciate yourself through all stages and phases of your life, even those that aren't ideal. You cannot just value or love yourself when you feel or look a certain way. Even though it is completely normal to have feelings of doubt and insecurity, you should not measure or compare yourself to idealistic standards of others who more than likely do not give the full picture of their life and how they cope with the same things. How can you really be that girl? Well, you need to find and create a sustainable balance and create your own definition of luxury. That'd be number one. Okay? This means You have to balance self-care and the ability to give yourself grace in circumstances with discipline and the ability to work and accomplish tasks in spite of negative emotions and circumstances. What I mean by this is there is a time for when life becomes overwhelming and life is lifing, for you to take a step back, lay in bed, take a nap, order a pizza, and deviate from the plan that you have in place, okay? There is a time, or you give yourself maybe 2 days a week, the weekend, to just do what you want. Or if you're in school, you pick a time or a place, or you're working, pick a time or a place 2 days a week, or to just decompress and not have to stick to such a rigid plan. Or let's say you don't always plan. Let's say you're like, you know what, I know I was supposed to do this, but I'm gonna go get a pizza, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go to the mall, I'm gonna do an impulse buy. Sometimes that's needed, okay? That's giving yourself grace in circumstances. But you have to balance that with discipline, because you cannot do that as well. You cannot have a pattern of just doing that and just always impulsively buy things and always just go out to eat when life starts lifing, and always just have unhealthy habits when life becomes overwhelming. You have to balance that with some sort of discipline, because you're going to have negative emotions and circumstances come your way, and you have to then, sometimes there'll be more times than not where you're gonna have to say, you know what, I know I feel like crap, I know I got a D, or I just had a fight with my parents, or my kids they're acting up, I know I feel like, not being productive and not doing what I have to do, writing a bill, whatever it is, completing a task. But you have to be disciplined. That is the balance. And I say that because I've been both ends. I've been super rigid, not giving myself a break, and I've been the person that impulsively buys things and orders food and Uber Eats the pain away and DoorDashes the pain away, and neither is sustainable, neither is healthy. Creating that balance, which is whatever works for you, is how you can be that girl long term. You must balance sacrifice with self-care in a way that works for you. I like watching that girl videos for inspiration, because it says, okay, you know what, I never thought about eating that or doing that, and I'm blessed where I'm at, in a position where I can eat certain things and do certain things. I can't just drop money and go to Miami for the weekend, or go to Athens for the weekend, or Dubai or something like that. But there are certain things that I can do because I have to do what works for me. When we think of luxury, we tend to think of super expensive material things and places. But true luxury is how you decide to celebrate yourself. You can romanticize any aspect of your life, because this is your life. I am a firm belief that I'm a main character, okay? I am the main character of my life, and you are the main character of yours. You're not gonna let people tell you how to live this is your life. You're not gonna let people, you don't tell me what to do. This is my life. I will conduct my life how I see fit. For me, I'm gonna do it in accordance to God's will, but yeah, I'm gonna live my life. You're not gonna tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing. So how can you romanticize your life in the small way, in the smaller ways? So not Dubai or $1,000 facial, okay? This can be applied from going to a nice coffee shop, or maybe doing a DIY face mask. It does not have to be much. You don't have to spend bread. Like, I'm talking stacks on stacks to be that girl, to define luxury or create luxury for yourself. I just went to Target yesterday, and it was so liberating, and I felt so luxurious. Maybe because Target cost a grip, well, it doesn't, but I did the stupidest thing. Like, it was so silly, right, Jackie? I made a list. It's quite laughable. I made a list, like, I'm gonna go to Target and get this. Yeah, right, I got things that I was not even looking for, and the one thing I needed was a face mask, and I didn't even get that. But I had fun. Small things. For you, could be just going for a walk, nice, what's other things to do? Maybe making yourself a nice sandwich, washing your sheets. You know how nice it feels to just wash your sheets, to wash your bed sheets and shave your legs and get a nice moisturizer, a body cream, and just moisturize it up and head into those clean sheets with a big t-shirt and your favorite snack. Luxury does not have to be much. All right, that was number 1. Number 2 is you have to write in a journal or on your computer. You want to write down all that you desire to be and achieve. This is your version of being that girl, and create a vision board accompanying said desires and what you want to be and what you want to do. So once you do that, then you're going to write down a list of all your goals. I don't care how unrealistic they sound. I don't believe unrealistic goals. If it was put on the inside of you, if it was put in your mind, it's realistic, it's achievable, it's obtainable, okay? So write down all your goals, short and long term, okay? Then for each goal, write at least 1 to 2 steps you can take to realistically obtain those goals, okay? For instance, I said I wanted to, I want to grow my hair to my waist. So do I have this expectation that I'm going to do 1 scalp massage and then my hair is going to grow 12 inches overnight? No. But I said, okay, I'm going to do a bi-weekly wash day. I'm going to do a scalp massage. It used to be every day, but now it's like 4 times a week. And I'm going to mix it with MSM. I'm going to mix the oil, castor oil with MSM powder, and boom. And then I'm going to do that and be consistent in that. You see, there were reasonable steps to take in effect so I can achieve that goal. And it's been working. My hair has been growing, by the way. Also, in that same journal, this is number 3 now. In that same journal, document your emotions and track your progress. When you feel anything but really strong emotions, especially the negative ones, which are typically, I don't know if you heard that, but my tummy just rumbled. Okay, sorry. Write it down. Write down how you were feeling in that moment. Write down all the thoughts you have and pour it out on that journal or in the journal. And then write down something you could do to make yourself feel better in that moment, to help distract you so you're not in such a strong place. So if you're really sad, write down something you can do to write down all that you're feeling, and then write down something that you'd like to do to make yourself feel better in that moment, okay? Same thing with anger, any type of strong emotion. And then over time, you can look back and see how far you've come. Or let's say you feel that strong emotion again, you could look back and say, what did I do the last time and it worked? You can come back to it as a point of reference, okay? And the last step, number 4, but not least, okay? Get closer to Christ. This is the ultimate. This is what's going to seal the deal for how you can really be that girl. It is hard to maintain this balance, the balance being creating a sustainable balance with discipline, okay? It is hard to maintain this balance in your own strength, but you really can do all things through Christ. By reading the Bible more and having open conversations with God, prayer, talk to Him about literally anything, you will continue to have the strength to achieve any goal you set for yourself and be all that you are meant to be. Closeness to God through Christ does not mean absence from problems and lifing, but it does mean you will have increased peace and power over your life to cope with anything that may come your way. Listen, I'm gonna end this video here because you really can't top Christ. There's nothing higher than the Most High. You feel me? So I hope some part of this video clicked with you. I hope you liked this video and you enjoyed the content and you enjoy and you were related to it in some way. If you didn't, it's okay. I like talking about it. It's been on my heart for a while. And yeah, okay, I love you. Jackie loves you. And we'll see you in the next video.